Welcome back to Nortman Reviews, everyone. I'm John, and we are looking at Wolverine number 75, Fatal Attractions, no part, whatever. The final Fatal Attractions thing. And I'm only doing this because it's a direct, aftermath of what happened in X-Men 25, where Wolverine lost his adamantium to Magneto. And I only did that. I wasn't planning on doing Fatal Attractions at all until I had all the issues, maybe. But the issue of X-Men 97, the episode of X-Men 97, where they did that to Wolverine, I just had to get that issue out. So I feel like this would be a cool follow-up. So first, before we get into it, let's take a look at this gravy hologram. It's crazy that they can do that. Even back then, this is just kind of a novelty now, but it looks cool, right? The 3D aspect of it. Not sure who drew it. Who cares? So let's look at the double spread of the cover. I mean, I don't know what's going on with all these fucking things coming out of Wolverine. That's not quite what happened. I get that, his adamantium is coming out, but I don't know. This is just crazy. You could tell that Wolverine, did they not want to spoil, what had happened? But you already knew. I don't know. Whatever. But done by Adam Kubert. So we're gonna get into some good art. Crazy shit going on with his fingers and claws, here. Cyclops, Professor X, Jubilee, Jean Grey in the background, all cool shit. So, when last we left the X-Men, they went after Magneto. He was doing some Magneto shit, and in the fight, Wolverine kind of savagely went after Magneto. Magneto responded by pulling out Wolverine's fucking metal. Why would Wolverine go on that mission? Probably because they didn't feel Magneto was going to go to those lengths, and they needed Wolverine's expertise, his experience, I guess. Obviously not a good idea. Xavier then, mind-fucked Magneto, and that's what's going to lead into the Onslaught storyline, and we'll see if that happens in the cartoon. They teleported up to the base, but here they're on a Blackbird. At the end of the last issue, Colossus, who had joined Magneto and was up on Asteroid M, he's like, "Okay, you guys got to get the fuck out of here. I'm staying. I'm gonna keep an eye on Magneto, take care of him, because he's going through his own emotional shit." And he said, Bishop is on the way. Colossus sent the X-Men a message. And so Bishop was on the way with a modified Blackbird, like they always have, to pick him up. So they're on the Blackbird, but things aren't going well. They got Wolverine. Well, they're looking after Wolverine, trying to keep him alive. You got Bishop and these guys having a hard time, for whatever reason, making it back to Earth, right? And Adam Kubert does some interesting artistic choices. It's kind of Gumpy looking Wolverine. I mean, I know he doesn't have any metal, but anyways, a lot of this issue, I mean, there's some drama to it to keep him alive, but a lot of it is Jean and Xavier going into Wolverine's mind and trying to keep his mind alive while his body is healing itself. So there's a lot of crazy fucking shit. And I mean, there's already some interesting, Adam Kubert, he's good at doing these weird perspectives and weird anatomy shit while keeping it realistic, elongating things, and it's weird. He can do it because it's in this, inside his mind, so everything is kind of warped and reality is not quite what it should be. But I don't know, some of these, storylines where they're we're inside your mind and we get to see all the fucked up shit. I'm like, okay, cool, I guess. It's not too terribly interesting to me. These traumatic memories are interwoven into the fabric of Logan's personality, but yeah, whatever. So they need to tread cautiously. So you got Sabretooth and Lady Deathstrike fucking them up, tearing, and there's you see this? I never noticed this before so she's cutting off his leg there in pieces, but they're have clock hands on them. Time is running out for him. Nightmares persist. I mean, this is kind of eerily and creepy, but cool. So There's kind of the recap of Magneto ripping out the skeleton, the metal from his skeleton. Jean and Xavier are witnessing it again. Cool. More shit inside his mind. Now they're tiny, and then you pull back and they're now they can't even realize where they're at, but then they see that they're where Wolverine first got his metal in the Weapon X project. I like how he draws Wolverine here. That's just like, it's a cool angle and it looks realistic. I don't know, there's something about it. I can't place my hand on what I like about it. Just Adam Kubert, good artist, man. Very, very solid. So, I don't know, she's bitching at Xavier for like fucking with Wolverine's mind. They're witnessing events in Logan's life that he's never shared or talked about or anyone has never seen fit to share with us. So Jean is pissed off, like, we shouldn't be seeing this. It was wrong here. It was wrong with Magneto, blah, blah, whatever. More ads. So, yeah, and for some reason, I don't know why, but upon re-entry, everything is going to shit. Maybe, like, the Blackbird just wasn't up to par. So, people, while they're trying to help Wolverine, like, everything inside is just going, like, bananas. The med unit that Wolverine is strapped to comes loose, so he goes flying, and he regains consciousness. The shock awakened him. They want to sedate him and want to give him painkillers. And he's like, no, don't do it. Because he thinks he's going to die here. It's like, I'm going to be numb forever after I buy the farm. So it's like he kind of wants to just continue feeling alive, I guess. Okay, Wolverine. Mortal Kombat is here. On the Game Boy, that sucked. On the Game Gear, never played it. Mortal Kombat, Super Nintendo, that's cool. So they're checking him out. He's trying to, like, his healing factor is working, but not great. They're talking about they don't know how his healing factor works and how much damage it can, like, take, how much strain. So it's kind of overloading his system. So they got these 4 shots here of his hand all fucked up, and it's starting to heal itself. Looks like it's brand new, but then it kind of, like, the wounds reopen. So his healing factor isn't doing great. He's burning up. He has a fever. Shit is going down. And so Bishop and Quicksilver here are trying to, just steady the ship. Pointless stuff here. Just more with the drama. This dad and his son see the shooting star, which is the Blackbird. They're talking to Moira Kelly. Let's see if we can see her stupid accent. But can you not use a telepathic link? The signal is not good at all. Monitor his temperature constantly. If it goes above 108, he can go into convulsive seizures. Ach! And keep him talking, but didn't let him get himself absorbed and morbid. So while she's trying to give him advice and how to keep him alive, Jubilee's freaking the fuck out. Still, shit is going on. Trying to fix it. Rogue's doing whatever she can, going back and forth, helping. Things are exploding around them. They're still fucking falling. Quicksilver is using his super speed to, like, react. Let's see, because all the manual override controls are here before the situation deteriorated. Whatever. So Gambit, he's there. Oh yeah, Gambit. So Rogue's needed up on the flight deck. We needed help with Wolverine. Cool. So again, Jubilee's freaking out. Moira's doing what she can on the ground. Still burning up. I mean, all very terribly interesting, right? So, I mean, it is kind of interesting. Like, well, Wolverine is like dying on the Blackbird. Like all the, like who knows if any of them are gonna fucking survive at this point. I mean, it's the X-Men; they're gonna survive. The rest of the X-Men come jumping in. Storms is worried about Xavier. Jubilee's worried about Wolverine. Psylocke, worried about everybody. Kitty Pryde, she's worried about Wolverine. Quiet, Ollie, I can't hear it. Why isn't Jean saying anything? Fuck off, Cyclops. What is she supposed to just be constantly yelling about something? And Moira and Beast are kind of talking back and forth about what needs to be done. Alright, so they're still working on Wolverine. And Cyclops is freaking out. He's making it all about Jean and himself. He feels like this is what happened when Jean turned into Phoenix for the first time. Trying to... a shuttle plummeting through a radiation storm. Alright, so we go into some weird art here. Where's the... Andy Kubert, penciler. Mark Farmer, Dan Green, Mark Pennington, inkers. So this is still all... and Adam Kubert. This looks like some other kind of... He's got some like Jay Lee vibes back in the day. So now with like Wolverine's monologuing in his head, I guess. Going over the same shit. There's Magneto. Same dialogue from X-Men number 25 when Magneto ripped the shit out of him. All terribly interesting. Siege of Darkness, Ghost Rider, Spirits of Vengeance, Morbius, Morbin Time. Ooh, the Darkhold, pages from the Book of Sins. Cool. Ghost Rider, Night Stalkers, Jesus Christ. Okay, we get it. Does anybody remember this storyline? I doubt it. So here's some more crazy art from Adam Kubert with some of these strange angles and weird stretching of the anatomy. I mean, it works because it's inside the his mind. Now it looks like he doesn't have any bones because his flesh, there's no muscle definition, and just looks rubbery. They're still, hitting a storm front now. Where's Storm when you need her? Gambit's doing what he can. Rogue's doing what she can. Main hatch goes flying off. The cabin is going to depressurize. Everything that isn't strapped down is going to be sucked out. So, that sucks. So, Wolverine, in his weird delusions in his head, he sees this girl, young lady, it's Ileana, who died. So she's being represented as an angel, and she's reaching out to him, and he wants to go with her. He's ready to die. Again, more weird kind of anatomy, no muscle definition. Looks like he's wearing a meat suit. All right, look at that shit. But she pushes him away. And there's the hatch, and everything is being sucked out into it, including the fire, which I guess is good. Jean needs to concentrate on the hatch with her telekinetic powers, keeping it there so they don't all die. Wolverine starts going into cardiac arrest. Vital signs are fading. Shit, this is kind of a cool shot. This long shot. Hey, Rusty, you want to come see Wolverine die? Just the little tiny ship going into this storm. That's kind of cool. Hey, buddy. There's his tail, everyone. Sometimes he doesn't want to... He knows I get mad when he just sticks his nose in. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. Oh, you're so cute. There you go. Can you get me more viewers, buddy? Do I just need to make a video for you? Maybe. Rusty reads comics. Rusty the cat. I should make a comic strip out of you, like Garfield or something. Just constantly annoying your owner, John, when he's trying to do something interesting for himself. You always have to ruin it. Or make it better, depending on your point of view. All right, where are we? So, Jean Grey fucks up because, I don't know, plot device. She slips, loses the hatch. She's like being sucked out, and she's saying all this so we know what's going on. Bishop can't do anything. He's trying to pilot. She needs to replace the hatch, but she doesn't have anything. Things are being sucked out here. Jean's holding on for dear life. Look at this shit. Just hanging on. Who do you think he is? Tom Cruise? Xavier, he can't do shit because he ain't got no legs. Wolverine is like, he can't go into light. Got to go back. He has to go back to the real world. But how? How do I pull myself back? I'm out here. Am I out here all alone? And then he starts yelling at Jean, like he realizes the peril that she's in. Huh, buddy? Oh. Yes, okay. Move over, Rusty. Oh, okay, or just lie down on the comic book. Right? No longer about comics, it's all about Rusty. Who could have ever foreseen this happening? So, okay, Rusty, I'm gonna just slide you ever so slightly. So Wolverine, he realizes that Jean is in peril. Like I said 2 seconds ago before I was rudely interrupted by his cat. Look at these bunny feet. Hop, hop, hop. You're going to hop like a bunny. He's looking at me like, you motherfucker. Don't mess with my back paws. Back to the comic book. So here he is in the light. He's like, someone's calling for Jean. He's like, is that me? Am I calling for you? I need your help. Can you hear me? He says, give me your hand, Jean. Pull me. And he's like reaching out for this hand that looks like it's Ileana's again, this angel apparition. And he's reaching for that hand without like any bones or whatever the fuck is going on here. And he's like, give me your hand, Jean. Bring me. And there's Jean's hand back, and Wolverine grabs onto Jean. Like, he got up for however, and he grabbed onto her as, before she fell out of the Blackbird. And she's like, how? We thought you were, like, Professor Xavier said you were. And he's like, I'm not going to let it happen to you again. And she's like, your life rafts had bottomed out and on the meta unit scanners. And she said, you came back for me? Well, yeah, of course he would. He loves you, Jean. But he says, you got it the other way around. It was you who reached out and took my hand. And now they're in the clear, I guess. So, time heals all wounds. Yeah, some better than others. Yet not going in there. As your physician, I cannot abide it. Moira and her. So, anyways, time has passed. Days, weeks, who knows. Wolverine's healed. He's a little bit better. There's a danger room session going on. Jean Grey's taking out shit. There's the rest of the X-Men. Gambit, Rogue, Cyclops, Jubilee waving to these guys. That's kind of funny. Storm Beasts are up here. And he's like, I appreciate it, but Wolverine needs to prove that he still has a place on the team. And they're like, you always have a place. You know that. Like, you should know that by now. But Wolverine's like, I got to pull my own weight. So, like, do I get a shot or not? So they're like, okay. So they send a couple of just, like, battle droids before the episode 1 came out. So he's like, cool, I can take care of these, no problem. So these, I don't know what's going on with this background here. That would be annoying to fucking draw, right? Just do a holodeck thing. Whatever. That's why he makes money and I don't. So a battle droid comes down, he ducks out of it. It's like, he barely got out of the way in time. That look on his face was fear. They're saying, put a stop to this, Charles. He says, I cannot. Logan has to know this about himself. He has to experience this. Like, experience the fear, experience the loss. Gets cracked up the side of the head. Now he doesn't have metal inside him anymore to take some of that punishment, right? So usually he'd take a hit and be like nothing, but he's getting the fuck shit beat out of him. Speaking of beating somebody, Rusty. So they're all still watching. Wolverine's getting pissed off. He's getting warmed up. These piles of scrap metal and circuit board. God damn it, Rusty. And circuit boards ain't nothing on the old knucklehead. And they're saying, turn it off, Professor. And he says, don't listen. I may be down, but I ain't out. And I'm still the best at what I do. And then this sound. Shook. And they're like, oh my God. And this is the reveal of Wolverine having bone claws. It makes sense, honestly, as part of his mutation. I know some people, I like him better with metal claws, and being a weapon that was given to him is a cool idea, but you can't do a concept like taking out his metal and then just going for a long time without having him having claws. So, makes sense. I like it better when he has metal claws, though. So, he's screaming in pain. It's a cool shot. Bleeding everywhere. They're yelling, like, get him to retract them, get down there, stop the bleeding, get those battle droids. Ach, I need the medicart. Number 2 sutures and coagulant. They're just freaking out. Who knows who's talking here? This is Jubilee screaming Wolvie. So, more time pass. And this is kind of a cool little shot. It's a reflection in a pond. It's upside down. You got Wolverine and Jubilee just kind of hanging out. She's telling him, you have to relax, let your body heal. So they're just kind of hanging out, enjoying each other's company. Like, I like the ripple in the water. She's eating popcorn or something and throwing it in there. Yeah. So I like Wolverine's relationship with young people. He's like an old grumpy bastard, but he somehow latches on to Kitty Pryde, Jubilee. Just kind of takes on a mentor and father figure to them. Yeah, they're talking about other shit. He pops his claws again, and he's like, he had no idea that this about himself. This is new to him too. And he says, I must have been born with these claws, and how come I don't remember them before they were bonded with the adamantium? How come I always thought they were implants? And then she's like, well, what about your hands? How can they heal? It's like, I pop them out a few times every day. It keeps the channels open like pierced ears. And so she asks, so it stopped hurting? Nope. So every time he does that, it fucking hurts. So she's talking. She's like, oh, I guess my problems don't really compare to what you're going through. And that's untrue to him. He still makes the time. Cool picture. That would be a cool piece of art on your wall. Adam Cooper doing the right shit. Now, it kind of doesn't make sense. Sometimes, I wish I had a pen and paper. God, Rusty left dirt. It must have been, fuck, man. Let's clean this table. His a lot of times, artists interpret his claws different. A lot of times they were like a knife, like a flat edge. That's how they were razor sharp. Other people kind of made them kind of rounded. If they're bone, they feel like they make more sense being round, but it's hard to know what to do with them. You want to make them sharp and razor-like and everything. So they're just having more conversations, more dialogue. Cool shot of him in his cowboy hat. Why is he wearing these welder gloves? That's kind of silly here. Maybe it makes sense when she's doing her powers, but here, kind of dumb. For whatever reason, I'm reminded of my brother Rob and his reviews, and he was reviewing X-Force, especially with when Rob Liefeld was doing those first issues, and talk about Boom Boom and how she's kind of like a Jubilee ripoff. But And he kept talking about how Boom Boom looked like an old man, how like Rob Liefeld would draw her. Adam Kubert draws Jubilee like a youthful person, even with these silly glasses. Here's Wolverine puffing on cigars when they were allowed to do so. I know they stopped letting Marvel characters do this. I don't know if they ever went back. But it starts hurting him because there's a healing factor. But, I mean, you don't inhale cigars. You just kind of puff on them, so whatever. And then there's kind of this sad moment. And I'm going to read... I don't read a lot of the dialogue, but I'm going to read this out loud. It's basically Wolverine deciding to leave. And he's leaving a letter for Jubilee. So, dear Jubilee, this is just to say that I was going away because it's the best thing I can do. Without my adamantium lace skeleton and my healing factor not being what it used to be, I ain't hardly the best any longer. So he's leaving at 4 in the morning. There's a picture of Mariko when they were married, and he comes in and sees her sleeping with a little cute little nightcrawler animal. I'm just a liability to the rest of the team. I should retire my pinstripes before I get traded to the miners. He has this sword with him. That's the Yashida blade or whatever it's called. And he leaves the note for her there along with his cowboy hat to Jubilee. That's sweet. I understand that you are going through a difficult time right now. I wish I could say stay here for you, but it just cannot be. I'm not going to tell you that you have to be strong because you are one of the strongest people I have ever met. You have the strength to go on being happy and have fun despite the bad things that happen to you and the horrors you have seen. So he's made some copy. He's left some other notes for Professor Xavier, Jean and Scott. He has some others, probably the Storm, probably the Psylocke, maybe Rogue and Gambit together. To Gambit, like, fuck you, Gambit. You stabbed me too many times. So he gets on his motorcycle here. You don't have a calling, a callus on your soul like some folks who have had it half as bad as you. So you go on laughing, darling. Hold on to your wounds. Hold on to your wonder. It's hard to read the cursive writing here. Here I get getting mushy, so he's pushing his motorcycle out. You just stick to Professor Xavier like glue, do you hear me? He did all right by this old knucklehead, and he will be good by you. Do good by you. I never knew, like, what's knucklehead? Isn't it supposed to be knucklehead, and they're just spelling it in a weird way, but it's, you know, he's Canadian, he's knucklehead. Took me years to realize that, and I still think it's fucking stupid. Do not be sad for me, Jubilee. I am starting a whole new phase in my life, a new adventure. So she woke up. He sees like the light in her room. She read the letter. She's wearing the hat. She's just waving goodbye to him. Kind of sad. Kind of making me tear up. So think of me sometimes and smile, because that is how I will always remember you. And remember that I will always miss you. More than you will ever know. Love, Logan. So he waves goodbye, gets on his motorcycle, and speeds away. And there, Wolverine is gone for quite a while from the X-Men, doing his own thing. This is issue number 75. I don't think he comes back until Wolverine number 90, so that's 15 issues, right before Age of Apocalypse. I reviewed that issue with my brother Rob on his channel, Rob Norton, so go check that out. That's one of the first things that I did with him. So 15 issues, Wolverine just absent from the X-Men. It's kind of a big deal. Luckily, he had his own title to kind of have some adventures with, which I'm going to actually look at a couple of them. So, interesting story. The big reveal here is his bone claws. And then Wolverine leaving for a bit. That's probably the biggest thing to come out of this Fatal Attraction. Get the fuck out of here, you stupid ad. Magneto being mind wiped and leaving into Onslaught, which I don't think they knew that that's what they were doing at the time. But this was probably the biggest thing to come out of this. Wolverine leaving and losing his medal and the revelation of his bone claws, for sure. So, thanks for checking this issue out with me. There will be more to come. I'm going through a few more X-Men issues, and I will be really soon covering the Age of Apocalypse storyline. I'm trying to figure out if I should how I should do that. Let me know in the comments if you've watched this far and you're interested in the Age of Apocalypse storyline. There was like each series was had 4 issues. Should I do like the first issue of each series, or should I do like 1 through 4 and then move on to the next one? You know, like should I do Astonishing X-Men, Amazing X-Men, Weapon X, Generation Next, issues 1s, or should I start with Astonishing X-Men, do 1, 2, 3, and 4, then move to Amazing X-Men? You know what I mean? Let me know how you think it would be, you would like to see it. So, anyways, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for sitting here listening to me yap on about Wolverine. And as always, I will see you in the next video.